JJ the CPA here. Hope you're doing well. So the IRS has an online account that you can sign up for. I'm going to give you a link to it right on irs.gov. They're going to verify your identity, but then once you have an online account, you have it. It's not just per year. And what you'll be able to see is a history of what has been reported in your Social Security number by third parties for any year, as well as then the tax information, meaning your tax returns, that have been filed. This is just available for the individual level, not yet for the business level. But you'll also be able to look and see what records have been filed with the IRS, whether it's collection records. You'll be able to see what balance you owe, if any. You're able to make payments. You also can give authorization to an authorized tax pro, typically your EA, your CPA, maybe even the attorney, but somebody that can represent you before the IRS. You can give that person authorization, which is easier and quicker through the online. So fellow tax pros, you should get a tax pro account set up, which is the same fashion here, because then you will be able to easily get information once your client gives you authorization to be able to get all that online. What I find most useful with this is what I told you in the very beginning, is that before we file, especially with our more complicated tax clients, before we file the return, we like to go online and just make sure that everything's accounted for. It could be so many different third parties that report something in your Social Security number. Be aware of it before you file the tax return. If anything, if it's incorrect, you're aware of it to then correct it on that tax return. So the online account is the wave of the future with the IRS, and they are, I think, extremely helpful for you to have. Even if you don't owe tax, even if you don't need to make payments online, it's definitely helpful to have. Get it now. That way, as you move forward and the IRS makes more things available on it, you'll already be having access to it. Same thing with our tax pros. All right, hey, thanks for tuning in. I'd love it if you'd subscribe, and then don't you ever forget, you've never met a CPA quite like me. Have a great one.